it seems like 100 Thieves have something pretty deep down.
All right, so what is it going to be for themselves? 100 Thieves get to ban away bot lane. They know exactly what roles are available for TSM. What are they most afraid of as they play?
Tristana, Braum. Okay, Braum.
Right. Yeah, the question is, do they get rid of a lane bully like a Caitlyn, though she's not super common, or do you get rid of some more late game power like a Tristana? Or, a Kalista is another, good early lane bully that can try to punish your Kog'Maw lane. We'll have to see what kind of style they go for there, but so far Braum off the table, getting rid of one of the tanks. There's still many more available, Taric, Tahm Kench, etc.
But right now, I'm kind of concerned if I'm 100 Thieves bottom lane here, because they have GP, Taliyah, Sejuani. This is literally what they ran yesterday to get their win. Was you could play anything bottom lane, but you're going to get GP ulti, you're going to have Taliyah roaming down, and you're going to have Sejuani forcing ultimates down this Kog'Maw and Alistar's throats, so you can constantly put pressure there. So now you have to kind of pick something on this other side that might be able to kind of tip the scale in your favor, or just play to a different side of the map entirely.
And 100 Thieves coming through this pick and ban kind of with the same strategy midway through they did at the very beginning. They first picked the Kog'Maw and then just kind of dedicatedly removed the late game power options from TSM. Tristana, great teamfight AD carry in late game. Braum, a great teamfight support as well. And TSM going to find something a bit more lane focused with some early pressure as well. They're actually going to blind... Okay, Ornn support, sure. So some more engaged tools. That'll help the team fights quite a bit. Obviously, there's no Braum available to block that. So that'll look pretty solid for Mithy. Ornn is waiting on AD carry until they see the top side of the map.
Ornn is pretty damn scary, too, when combined with Sejuani, because the fact that the Brittle will increase the duration of her stuns just makes it pretty brutal. Her rank 1 ultimate's a 2-second stun, and then you add the Brittle for the minus 30% on top of it, tenacity-wise. You're looking at, a 2.5+ second stun there, about 2.6.
So you can ban away Jason Gnar, but Vladimir's still going to come through as the top lane pick for someday. Vlad's been around a little bit, but not a ton in North America, and should be a good matchup in a Gangplank. Should be fun to watch if Someday can do well. It means even more late-game teamfight power.
Does Ryu play the Aurelion Soul here?
That'll switch things up quite a bit, because suddenly you've got some early mid-game power. You can roam, you can actually beat Taliyah to the spot.
Yeah, and it's something that they would never...
Ooh,
oh my god!
I like it. Twisted Fate trying to match some of that pressure. Cody Sun looks excited. Gonna have a party. You got like 4 globals this game.
Yeah, you're looking around going, okay, they didn't pick their mid laner when so many mid laners are banned off the table. 5 out of the first 6 bans were towards mid lane, and then Ryu's like, they're never gonna ban this. Let's just keep having it go down. Yep. Never expected this to come through.
Covered the Caitlyn. They're actually gonna go for Varus here, and Varus does have some decent top end.
I mean,
but this is interesting.
I am scared right now, because before, I was scared for 100 Thieves bottom lane, we're going to have GP Taliyah coming down. Now the Varus, because the Tristana was banned away, the safest kind of AD carry you could pick.
Yeah.
The Varus doesn't have escapes versus the fact that this Alistar will jump in, that the Jarvan will try as well, and then you have this TF to boot on top of that. So right now, I feel like party in the bottom lane is what we're going to be seeing.
You got a lot of movements available, and Someday right now looks like he's going to be going Spellbook. He's starting the game with Ignite, so he's going to try to bully Haunts around the map and switch that in a little bit later. That'll be fun to watch for. Gangplank certainly is a diveable champion, especially pre-6 minutes when stopwatch is still commencing, is not available for the active, so that could be interesting. Things to watch for absolutely here. And I think there's really a lot of places to sink your teeth into for this game, because we've been talking about bot lane a whole lot because there's a Kog'Maw here, but think about how hard you can camp a Gangplank. If you burn a stopwatch, you get before the stopwatch, TF shows up, Vladimir's gonna be a lane bully. They can play around Someday. We don't see that all that often for 100 Thieves, but it could definitely happen here. Gonna be a fun one to look for. We are through champs like lineups on your screen right now. 100 Thieves, again, trying to keep place in first place right now, of course. They're only half a game behind Echo Fox. They can tie them easily here. TSM maybe starting their way back up the standings. See if they can do it. It's gonna be a very fun one here to get ourselves in the game.
And it's interesting because despite the game record where 100 Thieves are, like we said, just a half a game back, people are still predicting TSM, just like the analyst test did.
And so we load in the game. The crowd is ready. We are ready as well. Welcome once again to Summoner's Rift. I beat the announcer to it. She'll say it in a second. 3, 2, 1. Welcome. Oh, she doesn't say it. I'm an idiot. Ah, Spectre doesn't do that. All right, start the bot over.
Freak.
Start it right now. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 100 Thieves at 4-1. TSM at 2-3. Ah, there it is. 25 seconds. Thank you, Cyrene. Goes to show how smart I am. It's okay. I try to make you look better by looking dumb. You need the help.
I really appreciate. I need the help.
Yeah, no, I got you, dog. No problem. Aftermoon was very blue. Barely changed colors after turning brittle. I don't know what they're yelling about. That's okay. By the way, unfortunately, no. Oh yes, the dance party.
Oh, give him the donk. Give him the donk.
Calbo. I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. Thank you, Blue Oyster Cult. Thank you, Aftermoo. Let's move it forward. So you got the reference. Awesome. Good for you guys.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, wait, what do they know that I don't?
The band that sings Don't Fear the Reaper is called Blue Oyster Cult.
Ah, okay.
That's what that skit's about. Yep, today some of us learned.
Yeah.
Lucky 15,000. All right, so red buff going down. Smacked down by Meteos. Gets that one for himself. A similar leash on the right side of the map as Mike Young gets his blue buff, and they're going to trips on over to those sides. Hanser doing the same build we saw Huni run yesterday with the Relic Shield Gangplank.
Yeah.
If you parlay someone for 10 gold plus a Kleptomancy trigger.
It's one of those things where you want HP more than you want AP, I guess, in the matchup, and then you just still have the Bandit passive.
Yeah, and honestly, since Spell Thieves got nerfed in 8.2, where the lockout got increased by 50%, it's pretty much permanently off for every good player ever. Right? If you're bad League Legends like me, you can buy Spell Thieves and it'll still turn on your laning phase. If you're a pro, it's just gone for the entirety. So he actually has a chance of using the trigger like when Mike Young ganks the lane. Yeah. So I think it is like the better option than Spell Thieves.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So of course, early push for Someday. Needs to wait for the next little minute to die. Down he goes. Wow, last hitting with auto attacks on Vladimir. That's not the easiest thing in the world.
The Doran Shield to help him a little, right?
That's true. It adds 6, I think.
Actually, was something that buffed him quite a bit, because I remember when the Doran Shield change came through, it was like, wait, Vladimir's going to be nuts! Because just like last hitting under turret is so hard.
That's true. You got really long cooldowns for the early game. Then they disappear, like their opponent's health bars. Cody Sun and Aftermoo under the turret for now. Gonna do a pretty good job last hitting. Should be 2 autos for this. And yeah, so only 1 CS missed by Sven. Pretty solid here, but actually perfect CS for Cody Sun and Afro. They're gonna hit 19 off the 3rd wave, so despite the fact they're getting pushed in by the Varus, doesn't mean a thing for them to the negative. Wave for the mid lane. This should go Bjergsen's way, but want to see how Ryu can do it for himself.
Oh yeah, Talia is just nuts in terms of wave gear.
Pretty strong laner.
The Twisted Fate, the way that he kind of follows Talia is she'll push the wave, then he'll like push it after she's even left and tried to roam, and then he's like late to it. So, but his ultimate helps him out so much in getting there. So he actually is afforded the luxury of lagging behind.
All right, so far they're all right with this one. Shout out to the small farm lead of Hanser. He's doing really well with this one. Media's waiting around the wings. If they can find a headbutt, Pulverize could look good.
He's gonna go for it there.
Flash, Pulverize, headbutts in, Sven ignites him as well. Does he have a way out? He's gonna get stunned up on top of that one. There's a Flagger deck. First blood goes over to Kog'Maw. What a great gank in the bot lane.
That's the first move for the party in the bottom lane that we're expecting this game. Sven holds on to his flash as well, because even if he flashes, Meteos is just going to flash after him.
Oh yeah, there's no way out. It's actually very much correct by Sven to not burn that, but of course going to shove the wave in, try to deny as much farm as they can. Dematerializer helps as well.
I really like this. Like, this is something that I remember Meteos, like, way back in the day was always talking about, even in Season 3, where it was like, just help your laner shove the wave to get it to the turret so it doesn't freeze, so that you can just keep pushing it.
Yeah, it's actually really important that you have the economy of how much time you spend in and out of the lane.
And this was great from Afromoo. The flash, Pulverize, W on Sven to knock him back, and just chases him with the trample.
Yeah.
Super clean.
I mean, super shout out to how Afro played it as well. He pops the E and then basically stands at flash distance. So he's still in auto range, even if Sven does flash, he gets smacked by the cow and he's gonna die anyway. So again, right for Sven not to flash get away, and honestly perfect play out of Afro, and the follow-up very solid from everyone else as well. So a nice pickaxe plus dagger for Cody Sun means a better power spike for him. Sven going towards Rage Blade as you expect.
But it's something that we want to see from 100 Thieves more. We're talking about how they have only had a major lead in a single game out of the 5 that they've played, and otherwise they're just playing from an even perspective. So this early lead of this 300 gold that they have, you're hoping as a 100 Thieves fan that they can keep pushing this and show a little bit more, you know, that they deserve to be in those top spots.
Absolutely agree. So let's see if they can find more for themselves. Cody Sun and Afro just happy to keep farming out this point in the lane. A little bit of the farm might have been poached by Media, so not a lot of it, and they're honestly going to be okay gold-wise. Obviously, First Blood helps with this. And the game, though, still only about 300 apart. Gangplank printing so much free money helps quite a bit, obviously. Someday going to be rushing towards Proto Belt, it looks like, via his item choices so far. Trinity Force rush for Hanser is not a shock either. couple of aggressive wards come down as Mike Young spots out, and Ryu goes, hey, there's a ward here. Oh, I guess, yeah, I'll kill this, thank you.
Yeah, he's 6, so it's a very well-placed ward based on that timing.
But Sharp to go and grab that right away and look for it. The farm keeps going back and forth. Meteos, despite even actually getting a gank off, was actually out-leveling his lane, or his matchup opponent.
He's almost 6 here.
Just hit 5, and yeah, Meteos close to 6, so really great farm out of the Jarvan.
He'll hit 6 here, and we'll see what he does, because you could go for pretty much
Really fast 6.
anybody's flashes. Yeah, 6 at 6 minutes for a jungler.
Nuts.
Usually not when you do that. It's usually 7 minutes, pretty much with some change on it.
Yeah. He didn't really poach any lanes either. Like, he left after that gank in bot lane, so huge props to Meteos for getting a really good early run at this one. Let's see if they can find round 2. All summoners are up in bot lane, though, which means it's not like it's a tantalizing target or anything right now. Afro doesn't have his own flash, so they're actually down summoners right now.
And I even like just Meteos' first route as well. He went red to blue to Raptors, and then went, or red to blue to Wolves, and then went back across. So that's the kind of one that loops you back to where you started. Whereas normally you expect him to be on the top side of the map at that point.
It's super unorthodox timing, so definitely shout-outs to Meteos for playing that really nicely for himself, as somebody's going to push in, deal some damage to Haunter. Wearing a nice shiny red elixir due to Kleptomancy, and feels okay. This farm lead is definitely not going Sumday's way. He was able to walk back to lane no problem. Haunter burned his TP to do that, but you can see the gold lead is 500 thanks to the things you expect for Relic Shield Gangplank.
Yeah, Kleptomancy, Parlay, all that stuff.
Yeah, lots of free money on GP. So the gold lead will lie to you somewhat because it's not like he outplayed him by
That's real gold, though.
It is real. It's a discussion I've had before, actually, back when the first time Gangplank got really popular. It's real gold, but it's also balanced around the fact that using gold lead as a metric of how winning is this team will lie to you in that regard, because he is balanced around the fact that he gets more gold than other people.
All right, what about Twisted Fate?
Similar. It's not as much gold as Gangplank, though.
True.
Pirates are better thieves than card hustlers, I guess. I mean, I don't really know, but...
Oh, wow. Mike Young comes up and sweeps the bush immediately, but look at this.
Good hard CC. Maybe trying to run away, gets still... Ooh, nice, actually. Still manages to walk forward with W during the stun. And that's kind of how being unstoppable works. The stun still happens, but you're still finishing the spell, so... I know I saw some complaints online, like, oh, you're removing the skill cap out of Orion by removing Unstoppable, but you can do the same thing here.
Yeah, it's like, it's uninterruptible now.
Yeah, you won't get knocked back, but the interaction with stuns didn't change at all. So FYI, the more you know, for those who didn't know, the interaction with Unstoppable and stuns
I hear a cannon barrage. Top lane.
Cleared his own wave.
So, because he didn't have the teleport anymore.
Yeah.
So, just using that. So that means there's no pressure on that bottom side of the map there for a GP
From
ulti.
TSM, yeah. And Someday actually has now turned his Ignite back into Teleport, so he actually expects to be in a fight pretty soon.
Well, and Sven turned his heal into a cleanse, so he's expecting some attention here.
Twisted Fate.
Change to a cleanse.
Yep. That's going to help. We'll have to buy QSS. Feels good. Thank you, Riot Support, for the shout-out. Yay, cleanse.
This is a Malzahar.
It's actually good this game.
That's true. But yeah, actually, you do want to run cleanse against Sejuani pretty much all the time.
Yeah, you do.
It's like a cleanse tax on the mid laner.
Tough to play. But TSM, look at this, actually. Again, the first to make a pretty important move on the bot side, a pretty early Osh Drake.
It's actually surprising because 100 Thieves have fantastic objective control, usually even when they're behind. They still control Drakes and Barons. So TSM get that first one despite having their bottom lane be slightly behind. They still get the better recall timer.
And now it means a lot of resources for them because they're going to have extra mana for all of this. Here comes an attempted gank as Sejuani's coming down. Going to go for the ulti. Nice flash by Cody Sun, slowing an after move, but at this level, it's like Alistar. He will not die if he doesn't want to, and able to slink away, staying alive.
And I like Mike Young on this Sejuani, the way he played it yesterday. He's kind of going back to that, still going towards that bottom side of the map, and that's definitely where the focus is this game right now. Like you said, you could pivot and go pretty much anywhere, but the bottom
fighting for the
is the Fiesta.
So look at the damage up with the hard CC just chained together. Meteos was nearby. Kill credit goes to Ryu. He barely showed up, but at least he gets some gold. Mike Young, the second death of the game for TSM.
Party was dying down a bit, but now put on a new track. Let's get that Twisted Fate in there. Let's get everybody down in this bottom side of the map.
Got a new hot mixtape coming through, and all right, 3 wards, the same brush. Shout out Zombie Ward here in this one. Bjergsen gets rid of some more control wards himself and goes back to the mid lane. And yeah, TF, you can try to roam on Talia, but you are never TF fast.
Yeah, even if Talia roams first, it's like, oh,
TF's still faster.
TF got there first, my bad. You have to like be preemptive with your Talia roam, so you do have to have control of the wave and keep pushing it, which is very easy for her to do.
That's true. 10 farm difference. Mita's going to walk in this brush, find another control ward, so getting rid of a lot of TSM's vision down here. Still, their bot lane has summoners up. In
Yeah,
fact, all 10
everybody.
summoners available for TSM. Ryu gonna get found out, though. He's got to be careful. Flashes to get away. Did still get tagged a little bit, but out he goes. So a trade of flashes, mid laner versus jungler.
Yeah, didn't get hit by the Arctic Assault, but I don't think that would have mattered. He would have just flashed away afterwards anyway. But yeah, TSM are being very stingy with their flashes here, because if a flash comes through, you're going to get cataclysmed, you're going to be prime target. But so people are just holding on to it. Even when stuff like this happens, you just get bopped. Can't even flash there for Mike Young.
No, you can't blame Mike Young for the death there. I mean, maybe you try to get a ward over the wall before you sweep the control ward out, but
yeah,
that would be it.
This is something I always kind of said for Sven Skaren, where the jungler, when you're trying to establish vision, you're probably going to be the person who dies the most.
Yeah.
Right? When you're making these types of plays, the tank, it's like, you have the most HP, you go in there and check it. It's like, okay, well, I'll clear this ward, I'll do this, and you're going to get caught, and you're going to get collapsed on. So stuff like that will happen, but it's one of those things that I kind of consider a necessary risk to get that vision.
Ooh.
The barrel fight.
Q, yeah. All right, well, Summon is still keeping the push going, but he is not winning this lane outright, so I still want to see what does come out of this Vladimir. Of course, they chose to gank bot lane instead of top, though it would have been a possible place to go. But Hanser is completely safe up here despite getting, you know, soft counterpicked by this Vladimir. He's completely reasonable in this one, and Summon just getting his farm up as best he can.
I like that description, the soft counterpick here, because GP can't really build against the Vladimir early, delay his build way too much, and MR items don't fit too well into it, except for maybe Maw. But that's kind of why Vladimir gets full reign. If he's up against something like a Gnar, then he can go ahead and build, you know, Spirit Visage or like Spectre's Cowl early, but GP doesn't get afforded that luxury, so
no.
The Vladimir definitely gets to keep pressure in the lane. But then later on, it just becomes these guys both want a team fight.
Yep.
Neither of them is really like a fantastic split pusher, especially the Vladimir is not.
It's not as easy as Gangplank. Gangplank is like super free.
He gets to like clear waves and
you one-shot cast minions always as long as you have Triforce. It's like pretty hard to screw up. I can do it. I can screw it up, but most people can't.
Wonder what Hanser's build will be this time. Because he went for the crit static shift before.
He went 70 crit with Heaven's Reaper Infinity Edge. He might do it again, but he might actually add Maw as a result of this matchup, so that would put him at 30 already, and he might not go as 3 as a result. We'll see. I don't think he wants to go lethality necessarily because there's so many durable champions in the front line. We expect the Zonies on Vlad, for example. I don't think you want to build a Yomu's against someone who's going to build a Zonies against you regardless. The value goes down. So I'd expect crit again, actually.
Interesting.
Just no Essence Reaver.
Because at the same time, I would be like, well, they have 3 people who aren't going to build tank yet, except for like maybe 1 item. So I do wonder, right?
I can see. Well, we'll figure it out.
But definitely Merc Treads, I would assume, because he's going to get some CC from maybe Twisted Fate. You can W out of it, but just the MR is always going to help you in this matchup.
Yeah, shout out for Captain Flowers coining the term "don't build like a Chad." He actually is building some defensive tools. He's not just going full damage. Yeah. I like that a lot, by the way. I'm going to use that pretty much forever.
Yeah. Do you know the other part of it?
Nope.
So he used it to describe Skarner build, where he's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's the Skarner build with Warrior and Trinity Force. That's a Chad build. If you're building Cinderhulk, you're building like a virgin.
Okay.
Like, what?
Fair enough.
So those are the 2 builds you could go for.
There you go. All right, well, Captain Flowers projecting a fair bit, and as the barrels get chained up back and forth, we've still got ourselves a 400 gold lead behind Thieves in the first play in the bot lane for TSM's side. A big knock up on Cody Sun, but a headbutt from Aftermoo keeps the opponents away, and Cody Sun not bringing any summoners, and now an ulti down from TSM.
Yeah.
There's one he's near, though, and that threat is enough to push them off the turret. Looks like TSM might get first turret for themselves.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is because Twisted Fate was grabbing blue buff on the top side, so they knew that Ryu was going to roam up, so they roamed Bjergsen down, and Bjergsen's still in Fog of War right now.
And he's starting to move down. Ryu, no ulti, so it's actually going to be an unmatchable move.
Old top lane, though, they're trying to get this turret first. They'll have the Rift Herald.
TSM might well be first. It's going to be a big chunk, though. It's going to be close. Actually, take it all back as... Okay, yeah. TSM by a few seconds as the slam comes through, and within 3 seconds the turret falls, but TSM are the ones getting the bonus gold. 350 local for that one dropping down. Feels good. 300, I think it is, but... Oh, they pulled aggro. Another slam going to come through from Shelly. As the wave is cleared out by Hanser pretty nicely, and that turret will stay at about 2/3.
But no 2 turrets for either team here.
And we got the runes up on your screen finally for this one, so no big surprise from what I can tell.
Yeah, just a lot of unsealed spellbooks here. 3 for TSM, 2 for 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
And I like the adaptation, though. A Mythy, Speak of the Devil, just swapped over to Exhaust from Ignite. So going for a little bit more of a defensive route here, which you're going to be dove by a J4. You're going to have Vladimir coming at you.
Yeah.
This is actually one of those ones where you're going, do I run Exhaust or Ignite? Because Ignite versus the Vladimir could be good, but the Exhaust might just be better to make sure he doesn't one-shot my backline.
And there is some diminished value for Ignite because Varus has healing reduction built into the kit from his E. There's a little bit less need to build that, especially with Morel and Namicon also coming out of Bjergsen, that you probably don't need to run Ignite because you should have coverage. But it remains to be seen, there is still some value in it all the same. Damage is obviously a good thing to have. More wave clear coming out of Ryu as he gets rid of these waves, and he's getting pretty close towards Lich Bane. He's actually delaying Zhonya's by quite a bit, which back in the old days, that was generally called the split push build to build for Lich Bane second, so he might not be team fighting nearly as much. See what comes through on that one as the wave clear continues. Can't quite one-shot the casters. The damage not tuned quite that high into his fate, but his mana pool obviously fine. He's going to be okay. As the second Drake going to come down pretty quickly. Only about 1 minute it was up on the map in between the spawn and getting attacked. And with no contest at all, TSM once again. And a lot of this is because Bjergsen very easily will always shove mid lane first, always keep the lane under control, always first to show to the Drake, and Ryu can only farm against.
We haven't seen Twisted Fate in a good while, so looking at his build that he's going here, he's got the Rod of Ages.
Yeah, throw a Lich Bane.
For a Lich Bane after. Question is it Zhonya's right after that? Because he now has like the makes of the split pushing build, but then Zhonya's makes it a lot more team fighting. Where's he going? Going bottom lane, looking for Sven, who does have Cleanse.
Pretty solid Cleanse. This one walks backwards with the ulti in as well, and Ryu had Cleanse, chose not to go for it. Sunday said lands the ulti, one more Q would kill, but there's a re-engage coming now, and the wall from Talia, and Sunday is cut off. He's got no way out for this one. Gets away from some of that CC, waiting for the W to come down when he needs it, gets some more damage across, and buys a few more seconds, looking for his vet. Not going to find him, though. The shove comes in, and Bjergsen unloads the carpet, and this is not good for Cody-san. A lot of damage out of Hanser. The barrel going to come in. The Zhonya's not going to matter. He is so dead on this one. The shot comes in. Hanser gets the solo kill.
Yeah, Cody-san was by himself, just shoving the top wave. Kind of got abandoned by his team, but I wouldn't even call it like abandonment at that point. He decided to stay and keep pushing. And so TSM get 2 back.
And what's then coming through next for Sven? A little bit more defensive tools to deal with the fact that TF and Vlad going to dive him constantly. And I like that choice quite a bit, but it's still a pretty squishy Cody-san. He rushed QSS. The attack for not having Spellbook, no cleanse for him.
This right here, they know he has the cleanse, and this is just like an overextension here. I guess the only thing that would really help you is if Ryu flashed the ultimate from Sven, and then would have been able to chase, but at that point, you're still getting flanked here, and Sejuani's going to be there first, so even if he had done that, I'm pretty sure Ryu probably just dies at that point in the 2-on-3. So, overextension there from Cody's son. His team was running away from him. He's just on that top side. Hanser sees the opportunity. Takes no prisoners.
Well, nicely done there. First kill of the game for him. Merc Treads plus Maul by Morty is done, so his MR stack is up there for someday. Bot lane split push happening, though. Here comes exactly what we expected out of Ryu based on his build. Lich Bane in there, and a quick ward to spot for flanks, and as long as he cycles his spells pretty well, he gets lots of Lich Bane triggers. He's actually not optimizing pick a card for Lich Bane triggers.
Right now, though, he's actually getting shadowed by the J4 on the side. They're going to see him.
They found Hanser. Hanser does have Flash, going to jump over the hot, and a nice barrel hit as well slows down his opposition. Ult for a Flash, though, pretty worth it. Yeah,
definitely worth it. But the thing is Meteos had that ultimate up, which could have been used on Sven, who has his Flash down. So they decided to go for the split pusher, who still has his up. So instead of a guaranteed kill, they go for one that they could potentially get in the future here by getting the Flash from GP.
All right, so now the dual lanes go to the mid lane, and the question is now up to who is the better split pushing squad, who's the better 1-3-1, because both these teams feel like they're going to do that quite a bit. Obviously, again, with Ryu's build, he really wants to, is going Zhonya's next up, as we can tell. 2-2 in turrets, the gold within 1,500, that's well within reach for both these sides.
It's interesting because I feel like the Twisted Fate is a better split pusher than the Talia because of the fact that he'll do more damage to turrets if he reaches them, his wave clear is pretty comparable, and then his roaming power is more instantaneous. So she would have to kind of go for teleport over cleanse, but she wants to keep the cleanse, but look at this.
Double ulti, not going to mean too much. Afro kind of takes a lot of it and then pops his own ult to get away. So 2 ults for 1. Honestly, feels pretty good. Actually, make it 3 because Mike Young showed up as well, and it all hit Aframu, and this is the worst possible target, basically.
Gets to do a lot of soaking there, and he's rather durable right now from a resistance standpoint. I was talking about this a little bit in the last game where people go for the Targon's Brace, and sometimes you'll see them upgrade it all the way into the Eye of the Aspect, but people like Afromu, and like we saw in the last game as well, they'll sit on just the Targon's Brace for the 3 wards, and then they'll start getting their Aegis of the Legion, or they'll start getting Knight's Vow right away for more resistances or even just a support item for their team.
Heck, I really want Mikhail's this game. It's not a great build path for an Alistar, but you talk about things you might want in this game, and going up against a team who's just basically got long-range hard CC options like a Sejuani and an Orin. Mikhail's could be really useful there.
Yeah, I feel like if you're being a man, though, Chad, I guess
If you're going to build like Chad, yeah.
Not the full damage build, but I'm saying you go for the Locket, you go for the Knight's Vow, and you soak the CC by being the Alistar on the front line. You do your job and make sure you don't have to buy an item slot for it, and you can just use your ulti on it instead.
Fair. We'll see what he does.
Be a soaker.
Yeah. Someday wants to split push against his Gangplank. He built Ninja Tabby for himself, and he is in that spot right here.
But the GP got such a large advantage off of the play bottom, where he was able to get himself a kill, and then also, Someday just ended up dying, so he got further behind.
No ult this time for Afro. Bumps the Locket to keep himself alive a little bit longer. The wall going to come down, flashes over. It will just barely stay up. Doesn't quite get knocked in as well. Bjergsen almost tags that one, but I think it was max range. Up goes Afro, but you're seeing TSM start to burn a lot more of these effective cooldowns out of the players. Now Afro is a flashless Alistar. Next time around, his ulti will be up, but no flash get away from things. But that was time spent letting Ryu split push the top lane. This wave will crash at least a little bit to get some damage. Now a fight in the mid side.
And this is just like 100 Thieves. Like Prawley was saying the other day that his team, their biggest strength is playing a really annoying split push style, an annoying type of League of Legends. Being split push with a 1-3-1 and pulled across the map is so annoying to play against. It's definitely true to his word there.
Playing it pretty nicely, and I do always enjoy teams that have a different approach to the game. I do think 100 Thieves plays the game differently from other teams in North America, and I find that really compelling, watching the games just unfold differently here. Super like seeing split push TF as kind of a unique pickup here, and yeah, I do like to see what they can do with this one. I imagine TSM haven't played against this very much at all.
Yeah, and I like that he has the Zonias now too, so he's opened up his options to either team fight or go for the split push, but Mithy takes a chunk there, and what is Cody Sun sitting on? He is on 2,000 gold right now. He's not purchased, and this Mountain Drake has just come back up.
Yeah.
Cody Sun has more gold than Sven, but he hasn't spent it.
Yeah, so Sven's inventory is actually better than him. It's not quite to Ruin King money. Cody Sun, though, is getting pretty close to that mark, and that will be the next power spike it seems like he's going to want for himself, but for now can't reach that. Maybe Hurricane. Either one is viable. Certainly enough melee champions to make Hurricane an okay choice. 1,000, 2,000 gold puts TSM ahead. And these double Ocean Drakes mean regen as well. More poke coming through from Bjergsen. Can't quite land it, but
I actually wonder if it's Wit's End here, because Varus, Sejuani,
sure.
Orin, and Talia are all magic damage, so it may be something he goes towards.
Yeah, I think it's also a viable option. A lot of options here for him. We'll see what he goes for in this one. They try to go back and forth looking for space to control.
No more split push. It's all American ARAM. Let's go.
Let's go. Mountain Drake's very important apparently on this one. Fighting for the Rockies. Maybe Rushmore, I don't know. But Midland getting controlled back and forth. Wish getting cleared. Orin ulti coming across. He's going to find only Afro. He's got ulti. That's not the best target, so one ult now down for TSM. Proto about forward. Not going to find anyone really to hit. Let's go back and forth. TSM still on the vision control. And they're still hitting this Drake right now. Ulti coming out for Talia. And Bjergsen's going to keep them from doing anything. And then you get a miracle steal. He's not gonna. Nice try by Cody Sun, but a better smite, or good enough smite from Mike Young. A little bit of alone time with this mid lane turret, though. 5 seconds to get some attacks across. And yeah, not going to mean all that much. So 300 hit points on the turret. TSM gets the Drake, though. Well played by them.
Yeah, I feel like if 100 Thieves take a fight there, the fact that there's so much gold in their inventories, just like Cody Sun's I was talking about, I feel like it's not a favorable fight for them. Like 2,500 gold in the bank. Oof, that really does hurt him a lot. And that top lane advantage is huge. Look at that. Over 3,000 gold for Hanser.
Yep. Zyrene, you were right. Wit's End is the item of purchase for Cody Sun. There's a lot of ways Kog'Maw can go, and that's what he wants for this one. So very high attack speed, very high magic damage. It will, of course, amplify Vladimir and Twisted Fate's damage because it is an MR Shred, which can help them kill front line. So that's his choice. He'll be more durable against Talia on top of that one as well. Still playing the wave of their game. Back to playing annoying. The Drake is off the table. 100 Thieves can go back to the style they want to play, which is 1-3-1 split push. Hanser's got a lot of farm on this Gangplank. He's quite big, and Bjergsen's also out farming Ryu, so split push is not really translating into a farm lead for 100 Thieves. TSM matching it quite well, and when they group for team fights, they're just winning them by default. Taking the objectives.
100 Thieves, you know, they got to be quicker on the fight if they want it and be set up for it, but that's the one thing that we've kind of been seeing is they aren't really set up for these fights, and they abandoned even the split push or the threat of the split push as the fight was looking to potentially happen, where they maybe could have gotten more map pressure off of that. But it just seems like it got to wait for that item spike. And that always gets you, because you're like, oh, we should be doing this, but it's like, but I have this much gold, and I didn't back like 30 seconds ago, and I need this much more for this item, so.
Yeah. And also going for QSS, Cody Sun will always be that 1,500 gold of damage items behind Sven, as Sven's going to be faster blade of the Ruin King. He'll get that before the Hurricane or Ruin King comes in for Cody Sun.
Yeah, and like the QSS, if he hadn't have purchased that, he probably would have gone Wit's End immediately after, and he probably would have had it for that fight, considering how much that QSS cost. So.
Would have. Here comes Orin, ult number 2, going to find Cody Sun. He can QSS away from that one. And, yep, out he walks. Now they're re-engaged to the front line. Going to look for the kill on a Mythic. Can they do enough damage as TM shows up as well? A quick hourglass pop by Meteos. Heading back now as the Gangplank Cannon Barrage drops Aftermoon dangerously low. Someday forced to kite back as well, burning his Proto Belt to build distance, and TSM looking better for the wear after that fight.
Yeah, pretty much just ultis used for Mithy, Sven, Bjergsen, Pykeung, and Hauntzer. Whereas Under Thieves, they still have the Cataclysm, and they still have Alistar's ultimate if they wanted to go for another fight here, but they'd have to engage it quickly.
TSM feeling really good. Sven just free hitting this turret right now, not getting threatened really whatsoever. They're forcing Someday to pull away from a knockup out of Bjergsen. And TSM honestly doing really just so much better when the teams are grouped, and they've yet to be really punished by a TF ult either.
Yeah, I really liked Bjergsen's ultimate there because he sectioned off Ryu. Ryu used his Twisted Fate ultimate into the brush, and Bjergsen's wall just cut him off from the entire fight, and he could not get in to throw down a gold card onto Mythy or anyone.
Nice plays out of TSM, and looks like the story of improvement here in Week 3. The idea from Mike Young was play without regrets. Stop getting in your own head about, ooh, what if I'm screwing up? What if I'm making the game go badly for TSM? They're looking like they're playing a lot better here, and this would be the first win they would get against a team with a positive record.
Yeah, and he was worrying about things like, oh, I'm worried about misclicking my flash.
Yeah.
Right? Like things that you almost never think about just ever in the game.
Yep.
Right? You never really worry about that. And that just seems like very extraneous, and there's that pressure where we were looking at Mike Young as a rookie where the pressure didn't really get to him, but it seems like he did have a little bit of a stint where it was getting to him, and now they're saying it's all better. We got practice later.
Ooh, a big knock up there, but it's an ulti to Alistar. He's durable enough, finds a stun, but Mythy honestly still looking very healthy, and just a couple more shots will knock down mid lane outer. Will they pull the trigger? Not just yet. They could use the back door, but no, they're going to go for wave clear, but the damage output's good enough. After missing an ultimate means he can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
Ryu's ulti also burned here on the Twisted Fate, so more and more tools being doled here on the 100 Thieves side as TSM knocks down their third turret. 3 outers are gone, 28:06.
Yeah, and 100 Thieves, they have to go clear their side waves. You just saw Ryu go to the top and clear this massive wave, and the wave down bottom is going to actually push now towards TSM over time. But Someday is pretty far behind Hauntzer right now. 2 levels down, doesn't have anywhere near as much gold, so he's not as much of a split-pushing threat anymore.
Not getting as much done at all. This is actually getting farther and farther away from 100 Thieves' grasp, and even though TSM are still playing a bit of a slow style, they're playing in a very well-controlled way. Again, the Orin ult comes in. Mythy wants to find someone to kill, and they've actually sequestered off the one, but yeah, Meteos gets over the wall pretty easily, and he stays alive. And Mythy, of course, not afraid to hit that button and find the openings. I do want to point out, part of the reason he is going formerly Eye of the Equinox, now Eye of the Aspect, is it does give 10 CDR for not very much gold. And so it's actually a pretty efficient tank support cooldown reduction item. If you don't care about the action as much as you care about draw stats, it's a great pickup. And this is, of course, in 8.2 where the Orin ultimate cooldown was nerfed pretty substantially. It's the slowest cooling tank ultimate in the game, tied with Poppy. And still fishing quite a bit with a higher CDR build.
I actually did not know that about the cooldown being so high now that it's up there in the tanks. Which
Rank 1 Sign ultimate and all Poppy's ranks. These are only comparable tank cooldowns. Yep. Sign goes down to like 60 though. Like it's ludicrously fast.
What about Shen?
Sorry, I chose Engage. Like things that do similar.
Oh, Engage.
Sorry,
okay.
Similar tank ultimates.
Gotcha.
You're right. Shen would be longer.
Okay.
Amumu also. I
Gotcha.
think. Anyway, I did some random research when the changes came through and tried to find comparable champions. So FYI. Same as Poppy. There you go, everyone. Enjoy that.
It makes sense, though, because Engage is just so frustrating when it's so frequent, because Flash is only, 5-minute cooldown, unless you're running Summoner Spellbook, and
Then it's like 3.
cheat a little bit.
Oh, well, they're going to try for this one. Nice flash! Oh, Sven, you're so good at League of Legends. Gets away from Aftermoon. That is a lot burned, and now here comes maybe a re-engage. Nope, not going to find it. They ran away in time.
Yeah, burns the Flash, but gets Afromoves in return, and he gets the ultimate out of the Twisted Fate.
Yeah, really swift stuff out of him. This is definitely TSM looking a lot better than they were in the first couple of weeks. Still poised to grab a win over 100 Thieves here. But it's, of course, a slow-going game, but It does feel like TSM are not losing their grasp on this one. They're going to grab their third Ocean Drake. And I know a lot of people are like, 3 Oceans, why couldn't they be Infernals? But it does mean infinite sustain. And basically after any team fight, they could always say go Baron because it'll be full health by the time they get there. And so it does give you a lot of options that in a slower game, no matter how close the fight is, you can do anything afterwards without having to reset.
Yeah, it's a lot of regen.
It's insane.
Especially for those mana users. And
Yep.
somebody like Hansu who's going to be split pushing in the side lane, he can just spend all of his mana, and you don't really end up getting to that point as GP, but you can still just use all of it pretty willy-nilly. But look at this. Mithy.
Going to find Mithy for a bit of damage back and forth with Meteor. It's going to push him right back in. The knockup actually going to desync a little bit, and no stun going to land, so they have to walk away once more time. But look at this one. The knockup is there. He tries to immune for a little bit with the ulti, but still a kill comes through onto Bjergsen. Best cataclysm he could get. That was a for sure death to Meteos, and now a 5v4 no jungler. Let's look at Baron.
Yeah, no way that it could be smite stolen away here. Just have to worry about the engage.
PFL only gives vision. Somebody's going to teleport in, so here comes a flank fight 5v4. Look
1,000.
how low it is. It's going to be an easy smite picked up, and now in the backside is Someday looking for a little bit to do, but he can't find the targets. They have split up the jungler, so a bit of time alongside Mike Young as Someday's already fallen, but they will not get the kill. He won't burn down. And they're going to get Afmu as well, so look at that. 3 straight kills plus the Baron. TSM break the stalemate.
And now they're 6,000 gold up. They've had so many elemental drakes off of the pressure that they've been just able to find in these little pockets that 100 Thieves are leaving open for them. And right here, this was just a great counter. Bjergsen able to show up, puts the damage on Meteos. Mike Young forces the flash out, but then Mithy, the person they engaged on, gets his revenge there. And this Baron just melts as well. Like, they only have a single Mountain Drake, but this thing gets down to like 4,000 HP, and then it's pretty much just jumps to 2,000. So it's so fast that by the time the TP completes, it's already dead. And TSM already have an exit route with 3 people going up to kill off Someday, and then 2, helping Hanser kind of get out of that pit and survive.
And this mid game has been all TSM. The last important thing 100 Thieves did was at 19 minutes, around 10 seconds, when the split push of Ryu knocked down bot lane outer turret. That's the last thing that ticked the scoreboard up for 100 Thieves, and that was 14 minutes ago. So this is getting away from them, and the playstyle, looking to play, I don't know, annoying or something. They have yet to really scratch TSM in a long time.
Yeah, and now we have items coming online, like Hanser is just rolling in the cash right now. They're just going to force this down using Ornn ulti and just get that damage, whereas Hanser in that mid lane has the Phantom Dancer completed. He's ready to split push, but they're trying to catch him out.
Trying for the damage here, and this one eats the oranges, gets the teammates again, and Hanser will not go down. Meteos, though, pulled right back in. Bjergsen getting himself a kill, 4-0-1 for him. Very solid performance out of that TSM mid lane, and this is starting to go their way fast. The bot lane siege continues now, 4 turrets to 2. Got a jungler, it's a 5v4, just out they go. They're gonna give away the inhibitor. TSM now have broken the base.
And Hanser just became monstrous after that one play that put Someday slightly behind where he overextended.
They're still pushing.
You can see going for those Nexus turrets.
Ryu was pushing the mid lane for outer turret right here. They're gonna pull right thing in after. There's a kill picked up, and they're gonna end it right away. 34-minute mark, 1 Nexus turret already gone. This is a 5v3 inside 100 Thieves base. Looking at Nexus turret number 2 right now as Bjergsen tries to poke away Someday. The turret falls. Now can they even defend this as Someday kites away? But the health bar's running lower. Look for the re-engage. Mike Young might lose his life. Mithy getting low as well, but he's gonna stay alive. A trade of 1-for-1. The Nexus is gonna live as well. Cody still has some free time. Mithy will drop. Mike Young gonna do as well. And 100 Thieves will stay alive, finding some slimmers of hope, but there is so much more to go.
That was TSM saying, all right, time for the coup de grace, time to take the whole base, let's just go. They got 2 of them.
Ooh, and they're getting a lot now. Mid lane outer fell, top lane tier 2 as well. Actually, top lane outer had also dropped, I believe, quite a while ago. Sorry, that was mid lane outer, top lane tier 2. Those are the turrets going down. Plus those kills. TSM still up 8K, but this is a good fight at least.
Yeah, with an open base, that gives TSM a lot of pressure on the map here. Cody-san able to QSS out of the Sejuani ultimate, and then right here, it just becomes kind of focus all over the place for TSM, right? They start going onto Cody-san, but then Ryu's on the right side, and then they go after Someday and get pulled over. Nobody's hitting the Nexus right now, and it's just like a skirmish on the right-hand side on Ryu, who then uses his Hourglass as Meteos now has come back up. And Cody-san just went up and followed where Someday was, and everybody focusing him down. So the 80 carry pretty much got free reign.
He got a lot of kills with this one, so suddenly a 4-1-1 Kog'Maw. He's got 3 major offensive items right now in inventory, so this is an online Kog'Maw here, upgrades QSS to Scimitar, so he's now at 4 offensive items here, and this is when the Kog'Maw really starts to do good things. Can he keep ahead of Sven? Maybe that's a tough call to make.
Yeah, and let's just look at where the gold is for a moment, because this is a 5,000, almost 6,000 gold lead. But almost all that gold, we're looking at a 5,000 gold lead for Hanser alone. In the jungle, it's 2,000, but then Ryu has an advantage, Cody-san has an advantage, and then the support for TSM, Mythy, has an advantage there. So you're seeing the 2 tanks and then Hanser have a lot of that gold, whereas the 2 carries on 100 Thieves, just saved for someday, are where that gold advantage is themselves. So Ryu and Cody-san are in a position where if their front line can hold up long enough, they might be able to win a fight.
So can it be another late game victory for 100 Thieves? Is how they've won their games before. A big knockup, a lot of damage, and Cody's going to burn his Mercurial Scimitar plus Summoner Heal to get away. That'll give up time for TSM to knock down yet another turret. Keep in mind there's only 1 turret in front of the Nexus, as mid lane is now broken up in front of the base. Fight for wards continues as 100 Thieves wants to make sure they're not completely darkened out here.
Well, the Elder Dragon's up in 15 seconds here.
And it's big for TSM.
And you do have to simultaneously worry about your base, because there are no more Nexus turrets left for 100 Thieves.
No ult for Ryu, he burned that already. Someday is actually switched off of teleport. He's Ghost Flash for the team fight power.
Yeah, that's what I would expect later for the Vladimir. Now that he's hit level 17, he's caught up some of that ground because he was really behind Hanser. And the levels matter a lot here. And Hanser's not going to get any stronger. He's at that 6 items unless he sells his Merc Treads. But now he's at that build with the 70% crit.
Let's see what can be done. Bot lane split pushing pretty easy for Someday. Magic damage dealer pretty good at getting rid of super minions, so his wave clear is fine. He's catching up in levels, only 1 behind Someday.
Sorry, Hanser has the 80% crit. It's different from the build he had yesterday with the Essence Reaver in it.
Essence Reaver
Phantom Dancer instead.
Yeah, because Essence Reaver is only going to give you 10 CDR at that point, and it's just not worth it in a lot of these cases. So looking around a little bit more as Meteos kites away. TSM giving some threats. Elder Dragon is up, and again, this is a huge concern. TSM gets super powered when they get this one, if they can. 100 Thieves playing around the mid side. This Vladimir's still splitting bot lane, and actually TSM are hemorrhaging gold when this happens because it's just a free farming Vlad who's getting closer and closer to catch the gold up.
That was actually interesting.
They found Cody-san without the escape tools. No, he did have Scimitar back up, so nothing to be found after the front line, but look how quickly he burns down even through the ultimate. The kill and support, nice pick up there, TSM can keep going.
This might be them saying, all right, time to just go straight for the base, but wait,
he wants Sven. Ryu on the backside looks for a squishy to go for. A lot of damage on Hanser, but no kills just yet. Sven flashes over the wall. And in the back line, though, Mythy can't find much of anything. Cody-san, one more auto attack, but he doesn't go for the target anymore.
He can't get in
so
there.
Back to the front line for Mike Young, pushing him away. The snipe comes in, not quite the kill. The spite keeps him alive, actually, as Hanser gets a little bit more health back. So no kills coming through. Out they go.
Mythy held Cody-san down for so long, and Cody just started pumping damage into him instead of helping his team kill the rest of TSM.
That was really nice out of Mythy to survive, and that means, of course, a quick incremental pickup. Ocean regen now off the charts here, this one as well. TSM licked their wounds nicely.
3 oceans and that mountain, and now they're just going to run right over to that Baron with 4 seconds left on that spawn. They're just going to take that and try to go for the base after.
It's going to look comfortable here as they grab some honey fruit and actually going to play for a bait instead. They're going to go for the fight. They almost found Ryu.
Got the flash.
Yep. The only cost really was Sven's ultimate, and that's a much shorter cooldown. Okay, they're gonna go for the reset. TF ult used to see what they're up to exactly, and of course, desynced recalls could spell doom, so TSM gonna stay on the map a little bit more as a result.
It's so funny because there was a fight earlier that maybe when the last Twisted Fate ultimate that got used, not that one, but the one before, where Bjergsen wasn't with the team, but his Banshee's Veil absorbed the ultimate, so they didn't see that he wasn't there. And he just used it again, and once again, Banshee's Veil goes on cooldown.
Important thing right here is they're going to get rid of the Baron, and look at that, with the wall in the way, there's actually no pathway to stop it, so TSM playing very well around those neutral objectives. Yes, they play a slow style, but they're more running 100 Thieves here, preventing any of these steals.
100 Thieves, though, if there's a team that knows how to play from behind, it's this 4-1 team that hasn't had some major leads. But watch here on the side with Cody-san. Mythy then exhausts him, hits him, and then Cody-san, he didn't get any time to go towards that right-hand side. He swapped targets because he realized, oh, I spent so much time on Mythy, but he didn't finish Mythy off either.
He didn't expect Locket to come out. The shield came in, he's like, okay, I'll switch targets there, and then just never got to hit the front line again. And I mean, the exhaust Mythy played it pretty well also, but...
I like how he exhausted, kept the brittle on him, and then when the exhaust wore off, then he actually used the brittle to get that hit.
Somebody gonna pool to get away from all the CC, no tag there. Still appreciate Mythy fishing for these, I think it's the right choice. Gives TSM a way in. I really do like how the comp is lined up for them. 10,000 gold puts TSM ahead. The Elder Dragon still on for a few more seconds. Baron on for 2.5 minutes.
A death bush here, 400 Thieves, but
Really
see.
Someday. It might be his death in this one. Cody Sign actually slowed down and shut out. He's by himself and he pops 2 kills already to Hanser. And TSM can just walk it down the bottom lane.
All of 100 Thieves?
What?
What are they doing?
Ryu, why show up there? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's 3v5, a triple kill now for Hanser. This is TSM walking it in. They'll improve to 3-3. 100 Thieves will be handed their second loss. And this is the week of TSM. You gotta believe it. A 2-0 week for the squad. Getting a win over a team that was in first place yesterday. As they just go ahead and mop up some more for the KDA, make their stats look better. 13-5. TSM improved to 3-3.
They said they got a late start, and that, hey, it was only week 2. Now, looking at week 3 for that 2-0.
All right, faith in TSM maybe gonna be rewarded. Pretty well-controlled game. There were some solid ganks, some solid plays out of 100 Thieves in the early game, but again, very little happened after about the 19-minute mark. TSM, though, they chose to play a bit of a slower game themselves. It was very controlled, and some of that is they had to.
Yeah.
Like, you're against a 1-3-1 TF teleport team. That is difficult to easily aggress on, and I thought TSM handled those split pushes well. I assume they have not scrimmed against TF much this year, and they adapted pretty well on the fly to how the game was supposed to play out. They won their team fights compositionally, and overall, a well-played game by the squad.
And Twisted Fate will completely exploit gaps in communication for a team. And TSM, they have been talking about how the communication has improved over the last few weeks, but it's not exactly where they want it to be just yet. And against 100 Thieves, who are trying to pull them apart, looked like it was on point today.
That's the case here. So, 100 Thieves gonna have to pack their bags for the week. 4-2, still a respectable record, but a loss to TSM. Maybe that means that TSM is on the market now, and this is the playoff team people expected. We'll see how they can challenge over in week 4 when we resume their saga in the North American LCS.